full moon, summer, solstice, strawberry moon at 3 degrees of Capricorn, sextile Jupiter retrograde on the eve of Neptune in deceptive Pisces also turning backwards. And oh yes, it's World War V, the home front. Now, I can't see because I've got the light shining in my eye as always, but I had to give you that strawberry moon. And it's 37 degrees still here on the Med, so you're going to have to bear with me. 56. Yes. The wreckage of the wait and see appeasement of these warlocks policy just washed up on the beach. Cancer season. The biggest change in the world today is that the young don't learn from the old. They teach the old about the world today. So spaketh here Klaus, the sex kitten, head honcho of the trans-globalist, trans-humanist cabal who are coming for our children and hell-bent on consigning our elderly, our wisdom and traditions on the scrap heap of the post-COVID 1984 reality. That was a mouthful. Yes, I'm trying to see. The summer of sedition and the solstice began on June the 21st this year, on the heels of Father's Day, and the war on family reaches critical mass. Right on time, in sync with, as always, the big clock in the sky. Oh yes. Back in May on Mother's Day, I did warn that they were coming for our children and that we were to mobilise Tiger Mom. Well, in the month between Mother's Day and Father's Day, we were mesmerised by the set-free promise propaganda porn, and while we were distracted, the sons of Satan began squaring up to reap those summer fruits, the full moon in Capricorn summer fruits of the seeds that they planted all the way back at that new moon in Capricorn in December. Yes, the great restructuring, resetting that was inaugurated under the Great Conjunction. Yeah, that was Jupiter, Pluto and Saturn conjunct in Capricorn. Whoa, under those eclipses. That signalled the end of the age and inaugurated the age of Aquarius agenda. I'm struggling to see what it says next. Yep, back then they gave us, they gave us so much. The impeachment pantomime and the Capitol Hill Senate circus, and of course, dark winter and the warp speed jab rollout. Well, it's all coming to fruition now. Denmark Member of Parliament and World Economic Forum poster child, Ida Aiken, declared, "Welcome to 2030. I own nothing. I have no privacy, and life has never been better." Really? Yeah, that Saturnian manifesto and predictive program that is actually a Cancerian's worst nightmare. Yeah, that was a summation and the foreshadowing of the Agenda 21 phase of the elites' diabolical great plan of ages. They like to use great this and great that, don't they? In their dreams. Right, well, just 3 days into the Cancer season, which began again with the summer solstice on June 21st, Cancer themes have kicked in with a vengeance. I mean, a vengeance. The fight for family, finances, and freedom is getting real. Emerging from that soft, focused, false hope and the false promises and fantasies of Jupiter in Pisces. Yeah, and Neptune there too. Well, those fantasies of a summer maskless, sun-worshipping, sand-seeing sangria after drinking a sip of the Kool-Aid and just a little jab, well, they have come crashing down to earth, and I think I'm crashing out of my clothes. Oh, honestly, you have no idea how hot it is tonight. I mean, I'm probably sweating all over the pages. I can't even see. Yes. Well, that all came, all the best laid plans. Freedom Day in the UK that was scheduled for the summer solstice. Coincidence is not a cosmic word. Well, that was postponed. Quelle surprise. And the summer vacations, them too, were recalled due to Delta variant. Yeah, Delta, Alpha, Beta. Yeah. I'll keep it coming. The EU pushed through divisive health passports for the region. And after swearing up and down that no Brits would ever be asked, show me your papers please. Yeah, well, seems like passports for pub and grub and entertainment are back on the menu. Quelle surprise. Yes, under the Capricorn full moon, Fauci began flapping his gums again, fresh from email gate. And the bio bat, divide and distract controlled opposition psyop. Yeah, that was designed to keep us all believing in the phantom, the phantom virus, whether it came from a bottle or was homegrown in a soup. Yeah, whichever way, it was to keep us thinking, ooh, yes, the phantom is out there, it's real. Yes, well, he is now warning about the perils of the super deadly Delta, and in the UK, it's now become Delta Plus. How many times? Yes, and no doubt, Fauci is actually top of the summer solstice sacrifice list, along with Gates, Boris, and now horny Hancock, who was caught cheating with his aide right under the full moon. They time everything to the big clock in the sky. And what a distraction. I mean, the photo, he was actually up against that Masonic brick wall. God, I can't. Yes, what else? The WHO, World Health Organization Special Envoy Dr. David, is warning that masks and social distancing are here for the long haul. Never mind the fact that, the very same WHO decried the efficacy of muzzles a few months ago, and just a few days ago, issued an update to the guidelines recommending that the jabbing of children and young adults should be suspended until further investigation. Yeah, especially with a statistical 0 chance of getting or passing on the phantom. Yeah. And then retracted it. Well, sort of kind of tweaked it, but we've got the screenshots. Yeah. And the CDC finally held, the emergency meeting that took them a week to convene. Yes. Regards the link to heart inflammation in young teens and young adults, especially for the males. And the upshot is that the FDA have announced that they will be putting a warning, yeah, as part of the informed consent. Yeah, they realise that now, do they? It's about time. Yeah, warning of the possible link between all of the jabs, yeah, and again, heart problems and the kaleidoscope of side effects that are being reported on the VAERS and the yellow card systems in young people. Well, the reports even reached the MSM, yeah, and you can't help but wonder, and I agree with, and always agreed with Hugo Talks. Shout out to Hugo, doing a great job, Hugo, on this. That it might seem as if the WHO might be distancing themselves and covering their tracks from an impending illegal train wreck, so they can say, we told you, no matter how quietly it was whispered, not to jab up pregnant women or children in this stage 3 of a clinical trial. And should everything come crashing down and the crowd begin to bathe for the blood of the political leaders and medical mafia, of course the WHO and the UN can step in and save the day with a one world government. Yeah, along with the alien invasion. NASA says it's real now. Okay, we'll keep our eyes peeled for that one. Okay, meanwhile, the Bank of England is proposing the rollout of a programmable new digital currency. Yes, a currency that can be switched off and be able to monitor your transactions and cut it off if you're buying something naughty or unapproved. Wow, Gilead is here. Now, what else we've got? Well, last year I warned about that encroaching war on our way of life and on our very humanity. The mass unemployment, the universal income enslavement, and California, as we speak, is rolling out their rent rebate, or paying the rent, and it'll soon be joined by everything else, and then Big Brother will be paying all the bills, providing the food, and you will do as you're told. Yes, I'm still falling out of my clothing. Very hot here, very hot. Yep, health passports, tracking and tracing, and all the rest. And so said, so done. Okay, 1 year later, with warp speed, we've witnessed the incarceration, isolation, and genocide or jabbing up of our geriatric elderly. Our traditions, family and small businesses being destroyed at warp speed. The soul-destroying separatist social distancing, cancel culture, dehumanizing muzzling, politicized family feuds over what should have been personal choice. I thought it still was, but obviously not. And the making of an apartheid two-tier system, jabbed and unjabbed. So, unfortunately, so said, so done. You don't need a crystal ball or to be a mundane astrologer. Shout out to the mundane boys, Osha, William, Super Astral, to predict what is hidden in plain sight. they have to tell you, and they've been telling us for the longest. So, with Mercury now direct in Gemini, Jupiter retrograde heading back to Aquarius, Neptune retrograde bursting those bubbles, and both Mars and Venus head into Leo for a smackdown face-off with both Uranus and Saturn retrograde. Well, a decisive battle in that one family is due roundabout. To quote Elizabeth Gilbert, we must take care of our family wherever we find them. And I suggest that we follow the example of the parents, those protective parents who marched on London in the Save the Children March last Sunday, which, though underreported by the MSM, was nevertheless mighty. Yes, it's time to put our foot down. And especially for my fellow sun-kissed Indigenous Americans, my special message is it's time to cut the crap. Come together, at least for the sake of our children, before we find our value behind, incarcerated in FEMA camps as we find ourselves leveling up in quarantine. Do not consent, fam.